Hello everyone, my name is Juliane Pieper and I got asked by Leo Culps to answer 3 questions which I will happily do here. So, I'm an illustrator, designer, artist and author. I was born in Stuttgart, that's in southern Germany, where I come from. The place is known for its very, very good sauerkraut. And because I didn't want to work in sauerkraut, I moved to several places. Finally, I ended in Berlin, where I could study visual communications at art school Berlin-Weißensee. I got lucky and I also tried very hard that I received a Fulbright scholarship that brought me to New York City, that I could study illustration at Fashion Institute of Technology. And that's also where I met Leo Culps 10 years ago, but I will talk about that later. So that's my background and my regarding my work. My range basically goes from children book illustration to video art installation at Manhattan Bridge. So since I'm an illustrator and not only an artist, I do assigned work, which means work for magazines, newspapers, companies, universities, and all kinds of organizations. So it's not only work on paper and illustrating an article, but it can also be a mural and so on. So, second question: what's my practice? What's my work like? That's difficult to say because basically, best thing, or it's difficult to say. It's better to see. But since I have to talk about it, I will try to explain. And well, it's my work. It's many things. It's for instance, when I work for a newspaper and they send me an article, I try to do problem solving. Problem solving sounds very serious and boring, but in my case, it's not. I can look at what can I add visually that can't be written or said. So I can invent something. I can come up with something and I can tweak. I can do with an image whatever I want, even stuff photographers can't. So it has also to do what can I do with illustration I can't do with photography. Also, since I work for clients, and if it's a newspaper, it's every time it's also about how can I spur attention with my style, with my visual idea. The client doesn't really ask for it, but it's something I try to add. I try to ask myself, how can I be funny? And also, when can I criticize something with my image, and can I make an image that doesn't state the obvious? That's also very important with illustration. So since it's also about art, it's like, why do I talk about illustration since I'm also here as an artist? It's because all these questions I ask myself doing work. It doesn't matter if it's for a magazine or if it's a free project, or if it's for a gallery or if it's for a video installation for the Leo Culps collection. This is where I come from, and this is very important. In doing art, I'm just more experimental with my expression and my material, and it also helps me doing better illustration later on, because experimentation in my own work every time helps me to become a better illustrator that gets hired by clients who want a certain thing, and sometimes they want my particular visual approach because it's interesting. It's very interesting, No, yeah. it's well, as you can hear, English is not my mother tongue, so sometimes it's not so subtle what I say. Please, yeah, excuse that. So also, I mean, sometimes I'm also a children book illustrator, and there I really want to create something children can relate to with their hopes and their dreams, with their joy, and also with their fear. So I try to, since I don't sound so serious sometimes, but I try to take children very serious, and also the grown-ups who have to read that book to children, meaning I don't want to educate anyone and to bore someone. I want to bring some fun and sparkle in their life. I think that's something books should do. Yeah, and some books should do it. I will do it with my books. And so, question number 3. How come that I collaborate with Leo Culps, and how's the process in that? I met Leo Culps 10 years ago in New York City, where I could study with this lovely Fulbright scholarship, and he asked me to do more artwork. He said, Juliane, you're an artist and you should do videos. And I said, I can't, I'm an illustrator and I have a lot of studying to do and all that. And I was also afraid to do animation because it's a very time-consuming process, at least when you know what to do, and it's just very difficult. But a few years ago, he asked me to do a video, and I just took a lot of thought into it, how I can produce a video without knowing too much about animation, and how can I learn animation in a short time and create something that someone likes to look at. So that's what I did, and I created a very basic, simplistic style in a very rough mode of animation. It's like a stop motion technique. So it's not highly rendered. It's not Walt Disney or Pixar or anything, which is great, but that's something I don't do. And I can still transport my message, particularly for the project Digital Fairy Tales, which is a set of short video programs based on forgotten folk art, folk tales, and forgotten fairy stories from Germany, from a guy called Franz Xaver Schönwert, who collected those, like the Brothers Grimm. And everybody knows the Brothers Grimm. Nobody knows Franz Xaver Schönwert, but he's also very important because these old fairy tales can still be listened to and now looked to, since artists and also me try to convert it into a visual expression in the video and add something modern to it and look at old messages too. So, which helps me there is the collaboration with Sea of Daisies. Sea of Daisies is my sound artist, and since I talked about my style, that also is maybe simple, but also childlike, sometimes cartoony, and silly. Her sound and her music creates the perfect balance to it, that it's a mixture between happy and sad, lightly and heavy, and it can be silly and childlike, but it can also be deep, and there's something deep inside of us that gets transported in that mixture of visuals and sound here. Particularly in my latest video, the Wailing Mother. It's about death, basically, also based on a fairy tale by Franz Xaver Schönwert. And there's a show coming up on April 7 and it's particularly for the program Lightyear, where the digital fairy tales get screened onto Manhattan Bridge in Dumbo, Brooklyn. So other artists and me will be there to get our videos screened and projected. And I also have a solo show back in Germany on April 30th at Kunsthaus Bayreuth in Germany. So now I want to say thank you to Leo and his team for giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit about myself and my work. And I'm looking forward to this collaboration and the screening, and also to the future in doing more videos on fairy tales by Franz Xaver Schönwerth and others. Thank you for your attention, and have all a great day. Bye bye.